All right, guys, so today we finally did it. We finally closed on the property. We're about to head over there. We just left the lawyer's office. It's the first property that we actually got since we left Florida. It actually feels so good to own something again. I won't lie. I am all for selling your home, selling your possessions to start your business, but I will say that it will start to feel like, what do I have? Like, what am I attached to? So getting this property today actually solidifies again, like, hey, I'm in the running. I owned a piece of the soil. Don't get hung up on stuff like that, but I definitely will say it feels like an accomplishment because this is the beginning of our business. All right, guys, this is what some of the mountain mornings look like. It is 7:30 in the morning, and this is what it looks like. It's beautiful, but driving is a little scary. Another thing we recommend is just really researching the area that you're going to, making sure your car is equipped to maneuver. So of course, like, we updated our tires, we made sure that, all of our oil and everything, brakes, everything works, because this could be a little scary driving in the mountains. There is literally ice. I had to get out and literally touch it and show you guys that this is the Blue Ridge Parkway. And want the good luck? Take one back to Eric. Oh my God, look at this. It's in the car. I know, it's like, find us land. We need land. Let me get this out the car. It's dripping. Guys, it's so crazy. Bicycle in the middle of March. I don't know, it's looking pretty good, guys. It seems like we can actually get some tiny homes down here or some RVs down here. What do you think?
I like this one.
I like this one too. So that's basically what we've been doing, guys. We've been going around and looking at all these different properties. And so some days have actually been really still since we've gotten here. I will say we've gotten Eric's house on the market. It got on the contract within the first 48 hours. And, that's been moving pretty fast. So when we came into this and we started looking at property, we definitely said we're definitely going to try and get riverfront property, and if we can't get that because of what's available, we will go for the view. And every time we find a river one, I just get so excited because you can't get any better than waking up to the sound of that. This is definitely one we have to check out, guys, because this is definitely something that could be started real quickly. I think this one had septic installed already. I think that's what all that marking is there. So we would just have to figure out how we would get around it, but whether we go with RV sites for this one or tiny homes, I think it would definitely work out for us. All right, guys, so this is a property that we came out here to see, and it's interesting because the owners actually wanted to start a campground, a rental community, and so they have some cabins back there, and this is actually where the setup is going to be for the RVs. Now, they have basically a road graded in, and it comes up here to a loop.
It's alright, it's not terrible. So what do you want to do first?
Let's take this little loop here first. So that's one of the cabins. Cute. And this would be the bathhouse and office. So guys, it's not terrible. That's currently an Airbnb property that it's actually currently renting and has income coming in, so that's pretty nice. And then those are the cabins down below. Now, the one thing that we're not loving about this property is just the fact that it has a dumping station already installed. We would love to have full hookups with sewer, so that would also be something we have to take into account. So we are walking this property that just came on the market for sale. We're really excited about this one because this is the most walkable one that we've actually seen, with a really nice maintained road, and it still has a view. I'm so excited about this one. Eric has went on and left me a long time ago. So we're gonna go walk this property and catch up to Eric and see what we can do with this property. Is it even usable? How much of the land is actually flat and usable? And if we can put our tiny homes here. Online, it basically says it's unrestricted. You have to be very careful about that too, because what is unrestricted to a seller that wants to sell land is not unrestricted to the buyer or the county. Power is right here at the property. I'm excited about this one. Yeah. definitely.
A little noisy from the road, but that will die down at nighttime, even if it gets you.
Yeah. I feel like we're a little conflicted because we want the convenience of our guests to be a little comfortable and be a little convenient to town, and also have gorgeous mountain views. So you can't go too far because you know, a lot of people probably travel from different countries, cities, states, and they're not going to know the area. So you want to keep them fairly close to town, but also give seclusion. So that's going to be a little bit of traffic. And you actually have a really nice view from a tiny home up here. The noise, you have a little bit of traffic, but it's also, you know, midday. It's lunchtime actually here. And actually it fades off into the distance really quickly. I could hear more of the trees and the birds chirping than anything. Hey guys, so today we are actually getting really serious about a property. We came and saw this property before, and we thought it was nice, and we didn't want to pull the trigger on it because we thought there was so much more out there. But me and Eric just had an epiphany about our business, and we'll share that with you probably later. But we're gonna take off smaller bites instead of just going straight for the RV park now. And so that allows us to actually look at smaller properties, and we have some exciting news about our new venture and how we decide to break into the RV and tiny home industry by going smaller properties. We'll reveal our plan to you later, but today we're just checking out this property, and we're going to be comparing it to another smaller property that we saw on another side of town. And today's really important because we really want to make a decision really soon and find a property that would work for us. So today me and Eric are going to scout out both properties and see if we can put in an offer today. That's so exciting for us, and we hope to have something coming real soon for you guys. So guys, we're here at the property that we call the bamboo property again. We're going to compare this one to the cross-stitch property today and see if we can actually narrow down which one of those we actually like for our first retreat destination or tiny home destination. So this one is one of me and Eric's favorites just because of all this bamboo. It is completely surrounded by bamboo. It feels so secluded when you're in there. You can't even see Eric. And our thoughts are to make a little path up here, leaving as much of the bamboo as we can. And if I can get by, it kind of brings us right in the middle of this structure. Look how cool is this? Someone tried to build a little bamboo structure, and it's all completely cleared in the middle. You have this little ray of sunshine coming down. I mean, it's awesome. It's like its own little retreat. You have a pathway out here to the road. We finally found a way up on the bank, and it is so much property up here on the bank, guys. The property line actually goes back all the way to where Eric is, and that gives us more property to put another tiny home. So we're really excited about this property. So that's pretty interesting for a tiny home setup. Guys, you know, another thing I'm going to say, it's always important to take a second look at things. Sometimes your hopes can be so high, you don't know what's out there. It took me and Eric a second, even a third time for the cross-stitch property for us to even start getting into seeing possibilities. And this is our second time here, and now we're finally being able to say, hey, we can do this or we can do that with the property. And before that, we were just looking at it as a steep bank and nothing that you can work with. Well, we did find a light pole on the property, and we're trying to figure out if that could possibly be cable. And if there is light or power and cable to this property, that's amazing. Don't touch it, however.
That's power.
It's power.
That's power, that's solid wire, that's power.
That's awesome. So guys, we're actually looking at something a little different today, and I'll explain to you why. This is actually a property that's for sale. It's 1.1 1.25 acre or something like that, and the reason we like it, even though it has a mobile home on it, is because it's actually priced without any value to the mobile home, and it has a foundation. So it's actually something that we're thinking we can utilize as a tiny home and add another tiny home and some clearing back here since we want to do 2 tiny homes per lot. Eric's actually checking out that area right now. Now, the interesting thing about this lot is you actually own this portion here across the street, and it has, you know, just enough buffer to where you can probably put a bench or something to overlook what was supposed to be the river over here. However, you guys know North Carolina had a terrible flood recently, and there's a lot of damage and a lot of debris still in the river. The property is right here. You can hear all that rushing water, and that's something amazing to walk up and wake up to. And the property isn't bad itself. It's a quiet street itself. It already has a starter for us. We just have to get in there. We would just have to get in there and renovate it. But we haven't looked at any wood structures before, and we don't know why. This is a good option. This one already has a well. It has power to the property. It has a sewer. We would just have to figure out where the sewer is, how much of the property line is actually ours, and if we're able to kind of dig a cove back there to stick another tiny home so we can profit off of the property. I don't know, interesting. I love the shape of the mobile home though. It definitely can give a nice vibe once it's renovated. I think it's a pretty cool spot. We're not sure about it because we weren't intending on getting something that already had a structure, but everything's a possibility, and there's so many variables when it comes to this tiny home adventure that we're considering everything at this point. What do you think? Different. It's different, but I'm glad we came inside. It's a possibility. And all right, guys, so we're here at another property, and we might be going out on a limb here, guys, but ever since we went and saw that one property that had that mobile home on there, we started thinking, what if we just look at abandoned or rundown structures and see if any of those had acres that we can work off of? And Eric came across this house, and I am loving it. I'm loving the brick. There's actually a really nice view up here, kind of established neighborhood. And it actually looks flat back here. We don't know if there's enough room to be able to put a tiny home back here. This is kind of some of the stuff we're looking at now. I think we might be going off course a little bit, but like I always say, we don't even know what our course is. We're out here just trying to figure something out, get something started, and you have to start somewhere. So we're keeping everything as an option. Of course, this would need a total new roof. It's not something we haven't done before, but you know, these things are worth looking at. You have to really just keep your eyes, ears, and options open, because anything can turn into something. You want to go back there and see how flat that goes back?
If you want. The house, I think, is done. The roof went so bad to the point where it took out the floor. Look at the window don't even have much.
Wow.
The floor dropped to the point where the window don't even fit in the opening anymore.
Wow.
The whole room and everything was dropped and weaved into the main house. This looked like it was an addition at one point, so I was going to say, in fact, we just ripped it back half off. You can see it started to affect the main house too.
Yeah. I mean, you can really see through there. Mm-hmm. And guys, we know everything is fixable. Some things you'd have to bring a contractor in for. We're just not really in the business. And look at that. It looks like termite tubes. Those are pretty big, but you never know. There's some kind of rodent or animal in there. We need to get income coming in. So something that's going to take a really long time to get started is not going to be an option for us. So something like this that has total roof shot, and like Eric says, it's going to have some foundation issues just because the window doesn't even line up with the opening anymore. And I didn't go in here, and I'm not going to go in here, but however, he's saying that back room has dropped in and the whole floor is caved in there. So we don't want those kind of problems. We don't want to have to bring in an engineer. So this is our hope, guys. When we're looking at properties with structure in this area, we found out that if we have a dwelling, we can also have up to 2 RVs or anything mobile. Of course, our tiny homes are going to be on wheels, so they're considered RVs in this area. And our hope is we can use the main house as our main Airbnb and also just put 2 tiny homes on the property. All right, guys, so you know how we always say you have to keep your eyes open and always be looking for a great deal. Well, we came to this area to look for another property that was listed online, and then we happened to run into this for sale by owner sign. And guys, this happened to be literally the best property we've seen so far. We were not expecting that the property we'd be looking to make an offer on would be for sale by owner, not even listed. Guys, it already has a driveway bridge. Needs some repair, but it's there. The road is already logged in. I mean, look at that. I can't wait to show you what's up here. So, some things about the property. It did have gas here. There's power on the property. The road goes all the way to the back and then up to 3 levels, guys. This is a 2-acre property. I happened to call the owner earlier. He's in Georgia. We're working on a great deal, and he had all the history, guys. That's the one thing about buying for sale by owner. There's going to be a lot of history you can get from the property. So he was able to tell us that there's a sewer already installed on the property. There's water on the property. I mean, everything stays with the property. There's even a mini excavator over there. There's an outdoor kitchen. There's sheds. So if you look here, you know, it's a nice deck. It actually has really nice cabinets and stuff. There's a refrigerator. There's a ceiling fan. I mean, this family just came here and camped out. All right, guys, so the property continues up this road here. And wait till you see what's on the other side. So I'm not an expert. Eric will be able to say what this all is, but we have something going on, and at least we know there's power and water, and we'll get it figured out. This is also a possible area we can put a tiny home once we get that graded and leveled out. So you would basically come up this street and you would make your first right, and that would be parking and tiny home in that area. And as you continue up here, you haven't even seen the surprise of this property yet. But look at that view coming up here. And it's so peaceful. Me and Eric came up here today, and we just stopped for a second and looked around and took a deep breath, and all you could hear was the creek and birds, and we just knew that this was the spot, that we had to come back. So, we have a camper already here. We're not going to rent this one, guys. We're still wanting our tiny home, but this is a good start. All right, guys, so we have just arrived at Pavey Law Firm. It's so different in North Carolina. We just left Florida and we sold our homes with realtors, and we're here in North Carolina, and we're actually using a lawyer to close this deal. So we just got to the law firm, and it's exciting that we just met the owners. We just pulled up to the property, we met the owners, we came to the law firm, and we're closing today. So guys, we just purchased our first investment property, our first Airbnb property that we want to put tiny homes on. We just purchased it, just left the lawyer's office. That was the quickest purchase I think we've ever made. I mean, the quickest $40,000 you can ever spend, but it was really quick and easy. We're headed back to the property right now. We're so excited. I can't wait to show you guys what we're about to do. And we finally did it. That was the first step of the whole plan. Leave Florida, buy a piece of property. So, second step. Are you excited? All right, guys. So today we just purchased our first property in North Carolina. So to give you guys a recap, me and my fiance Eric, we both sold our homes in Florida. We sold whatever we can, clothes, cars, anything that was excessive, and we got on the road and came to North Carolina, and it has been a journey so far. We actually have been looking at so many different properties since we got here. We have been all through the mountains looking at property, and we finally found one. I'll show it to you guys, and you guys will see what I'm talking about. But we immediately knew that we wanted the property, and so we called them and we told them that we wanted to make an offer. We did the deal, and finally today we got to sign and close on it.